The building that is behind my back is a building of cantonal government of Canton Sarajevo, and also you can find the facilities of municipality center of Sarajevo in there. And during the 2014 protests, all of this part of town was blocked by the protesters. Going from Ali Pašna Džamija, which is up there, and that's one of the biggest crossroads in Sarajevo, it was blocked. Also Skenderija, that is behind your back, was blocked. And because behind this building there is also a building of presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina. As you can see, it's administrative, very important spot in the town. And that's one of the reasons why protests were in front of this building. Also back in 2008, I think, we had one of the protests in front of the same building. But then it was not burned, it was only, we were throwing some potatoes, eggs, and stuff like that on them. A bit after, some kids were a bit violent, throwing stones, but minor damage was done because only windows were breaking. In 2014, I would say everything started in Tuzla. Tuzla is, we can say, workers' city. Also, Tuzla is regarding ethnicity, very mixed city. It's very interesting that the protest started there. My personal opinion is because in Sarajevo a lot of people are in safe positions. There is, let's say, a bigger flow of money in Sarajevo than in any other town in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And that's why probably the spark was in Tuzla. And I remember when I saw that building in Tuzla burning, I immediately went on the street here. When we came, already some streets were blocked, people were walking around the streets, you know, like pensioners, kids, people from school, people that have time to be there. And first day, I don't know, it seems like the police intentionally was too aggressive regarding the protests. And then I think on the third day, people just snapped. And it became extremely dangerous. There are few pictures like police throwing down to the canals people. There are also pictures people helping to the police officers, because in one moment police was in a circle of protesters. And also what was interesting, that international community was saying like, we will send forces on you. So I don't know, sometimes they support democratic activities, sometimes probably when banks which are owned, our whole banker sector is owned by foreign banks, and probably when their investments are endangered, then they act, let's say, proactively. Seeing this building burn, in me, it was a moment of pure joy and happiness, to be honest. I know that public opinion differs regarding this burning of the buildings. Problem is that part of the people see it as destroying our buildings. But I think, because I finished political science, and something that I learned is, even in war, when you are attacking a certain country, what you attack first are governmental institutions and where decisions are being made. And I think that this, afterwards I will show you the presidency so you can make pictures. When presidency was burning, that was clear political act, like sending strong message. Because if you burned the highest institution, although it doesn't have, let's say, such a strong role regarding making some decisions, but symbolically it's a very, very strong message. Problem with 2014 protests was that because they were very massive They didn't have, let's say, there was no structure. It was pure activism. Also, people were enough with everything that is happening in this country for past 20 years, and it was kind of what they told me in Croatia, that their nation is healthy in a way that their peace movement was very strong. In Bosnia, we never had that conclusion, let's say, regarding everything that happened, and I think also why these protests were so not only violent but so massive and you couldn't influence them a lot is because we didn't have opportunity before maybe to speak about some things, to influence some things, and also we are always heavily guided by international communities, so we don't make our own decisions, I would say also. And a problem was, we had, what it was interesting in that youth house which I showed you, the plenums were organized. Plenum is, let's say, a new principle of direct democracy. And it was very interesting sociologically, because you could hear also a lot of people kind of just in order to make this relief, going in front of the other people and telling what they think, what is problem, what they think, what is solutions. Also you could hear some really hard stories in which state people are now. What I saw with my eyes when we were peacefully standing in front of all these buildings was police that was undercover heavily beating guy who said, "I don't see my mother on regular basis because she's always on work. My father died, my brother is blah blah blah." You know, he was telling in which state is he living, in how hard life is for him, and then at one moment you can see 3 police officers that were undercover beating this guy, and then even one girl screamed, "They are beating him, please help us." And then you just could see like this guy beating this girl also. Which was great is that people, young, old, everybody, we were there together, surrounded those guys in order to prevent the violent attack on the protesters. So this is just one aspect what was happening, and also I think because here in Bosnia we still don't have kind of structure, we as activists that are working on the field. I think that this is, well, everything what is happening is kind of learning process. Now we really learned a lot on all of those protests that I showed you, and now I think that we are ready to act more politically even, that we developed a bit, and we are using also other methods than protests, because what we learned from 2014 is that protests can be easily overtaken by political structures. And then at the end, those political structures will infiltrate in order to gain power. And that's why we need to be smarter to play with them in the way that they are playing with us, and even to be ready to go in institutions. That action that I told you that we recently had, that we went to the institution that is responsible for the case of the hospital, and we are just taking back political space that is ours.